all these playoff games and things are on TV during these days. And Super Bowl will soon come. And kickoff to NASCAR season for those of you that are into that kind of thing. And I think of fans in the stands cheering and excited and rooting for their team and calling out to their players, names and holding up signs and all those kinds of things. I think, you know what? We ought to give a little bit of a shout in this place this morning. I mean, this is all about the wonderful cross, the amazing love of God. It's about His Son, Jesus. Isn't it all about Jesus? Relationship with Him. I'm thinking if there's one name that we ought to shout, it ought to be Jesus. Don't you think so? I think we ought to do that, and I think we ought to shout it at least 3 times. Would you do that with me? Here we go. Jesus! 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 That's really pretty. Let's do it one more time. Let's do it again. I love it. Jesus! 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 Wow. Because He's what it's all about, We stand literally, in 2008, we stand at the crossroads, and it's the cross road is where we're at. And, there's a lot of, whenever you're at a crossroad, there's new opportunities, there's new beginnings, there's new adventures, there's new directions and things to take, they're just there. The question is, what are the choices, What are the decisions that you and I have to make at the crossroad? Because I'm convinced that all of us want to make the right decisions, want to make the right choices, in our lives. And I'm sure that every one of us, no matter what 2007 has been, whether it's been one of the most difficult years of your life, or whether it's been an incredibly good year, or whether it's been somewhere in between, I get a feeling that yet every one of us, no matter where we're at, want 2008 just to be better than 2007 was. But it's going to require a lot of choices, a lot of decisions that we have to make. I don't have the wristband on, but, I'm going to be constantly asking myself, WWJD, what would Jesus do in this situation throughout the year? And I want to know because I want to go God's way. I want to be able to make the right choice. And how do I do that? And how do I know what the right choices are? I mean, some choices we make are no-brainers, you get no-brainer choices when, let's say, if your choice is, am I going to join a life group or commit arson? We'll go to the life group then, won't we? Or am I gonna tithe or rob a bank? If that's my choice, then I'm gonna tithe, right? But a lot of choices aren't no-brainer choices. The big decisions that we have, that we face, they're just not no-brainer decisions. And we've got to be able to make the right choices. And so we're in this series, at the crossroads in 2008. For example, what are you going to do about money and about finances in your life in 2008? How are you going to strategize? How are you going to plan? What are you going to do differently to make it better for yourselves financially in 2008? What are you going to do? What plan are you going to follow? Are you going to follow God's plan? Or are you going to follow some other plan? What are you going to do about decisions regarding your sexuality in 2008? What are you going to do when you get to the place where you have to make the decision? Am I going to follow God's way and do it God's way, or am I going to go the way the world, the advertisement, the media, the billboards, the movies, and all of those other kinds of things suggest that I should go? What am I going to do? 2008, what am I going to do in my relationships in 2008? How am I going to handle difficult times in my relationships in 2008? Am I going to go God's way? Am I going to follow Jesus' teaching and Jesus' way and Jesus' modeling? And, am I truly, when I come across someone who would literally be an enemy to my life, will I really pray for them? Will I really do that? What will I do? If I need to offer forgiveness, will I truly forgive someone who needs forgiveness like Jesus said 70 times 7? What will I do? What are the choices and decisions that I'll make? Those are all crossroad moments that are in our lives, and we stand at the crossroads of 2008.